What's up? Today I am doing something different. I am going to be starting an episode once a week called Facebook Arguments. So, if you're like me, or maybe you're a professional, you probably would call it a healthy debate. Either way, when we're on that blue app, it's a lot of us that have facts. We may disagree with people's point of view, and it's just too tempting just to keep strolling by. We're going to say something about it. So I had one of those moments this week when it came down to a a shared post from Dr. Boyce Watkins. If you're not familiar with Dr. Boyce Watkins, he gives a lot of financial um, advice, economic. Have you look at the economics, all those kind of things he does? Really great work um, inside of that space. So stay tuned. I'm about to dive all the way in.
Vision it and surround yourself around people that are going to help you get to your goal.
And how important it is for you to talk about what's important for our community when it comes to healthcare.
Yes, there was a major change this year.
Okay, so Dr. Boyce Watkins made a post around Juneteenth about stated 5 reasons why Deion Sanders is getting robbed from the University of Colorado. Well, I had one of my Facebook friends share this post, and the person that shared it, his name is Devin Rispress, and he is a football coach. If I'm not mistaken, I think he is a FAMU football coach. So this really aligns with what I've been talking about this week, which is branding. Branding, and also within the space that I coach and educate, we address a lot of things which I call financial DNA trauma, right? Trademark. So this post that was shared, I really saw a lot of things that was coming out that really sounded like it was coming from a place of financial DNA trauma that a lot of people suffer from it. And it's basically where we have to rework the way that we were raised and retrain our way of thinking so that we can start building generational wealth. And it's addressing all the things that is keeping us from elevating from one phase to the next. So it is the traumas we have to work through. So within my business, I am a advocate on finding strategies to create legacy businesses and generational wealth as a licensed financial professional. So let's dive into it. I'm going to share this actual what it looked like. So this was the actual post here. That's that. And so let's dive into how this was shared. And we're going to discuss further what is going on here and what really had kind of touched me in a way where, wait a minute, we got to really, this has to be addressed. This has to be addressed. So before I get into my feedback here in the comment, I want to discuss the first response to this comment on this feed, which was an amazing point of view. And he was really nice about it. So Charles states, from a football, I feel you. But, oh, wait a minute. Did we say what? Okay, wait a minute. Let's go back. Okay. Wait a minute. Here it is. So this was the comment that was shared. It says, folks crazy. He can't watch them folks pocket. He getting $5 million a year and has only been a head coach for 2.5 seasons and is unproven at the Power 5 level. When and he'll be the highest paid in the country. So in a little bit, I will tell you. Let me turn this music off. That's kind of annoying. Hold on a second. Let's turn it off. There you go. Okay. So in a minute, I'll address what really kind of annoyed me. Yes, it can be a nuisance. However, I've learned to be very patient and very respectful with addressing where people are in their state of mind. So here it is. Here it says from a football. Here is a comment, one of the first comments, and it's under most relevant. So it's one of the first comments that came up on the post that was shared. And it's from Charles. Charles says, from a football fan point of view, I feel you, but you can't deny the Deion effect, though. 100. Why should we have to prove himself? Why should he have to prove himself as a coach? And all of the money the school is making has nothing to do with playing football. On that level, it's always business first. Too often we have to prove our worth, while the massive value of just having us present is an afterthought, respectfully. So there's a million reasons why I definitely reside with that comment, but with that one comment, there's 20 other comments that is citing that Coach Deion needs to prove himself. And let me tell you, I'm not a football person. I don't really watch football, but what I am is a business person, right? So I don't really care what industry it is. I'm going to make sense out of it when it comes to contract and when it comes to taking care of the business first. So with me not being in the business, I have a great view because I'm not sided on what's the norm of how things have been going for years. This is, most people say this just how it is. Yeah, okay. My people went through 400 and something years of slavery because that was the way that it was. So you can't tell me if there is a system that's operating in a way that it should not, or that it needs improvement, or that it's one-sided, or that it's a bilateral where one person is benefiting a whole lot more, or one business is benefiting a whole lot more than the other business, that it can't be changed. So what I come in and do is look at the economic value. So here I am here, and I come in a little bit later, right? And I read it, and I take a really unbiased approach to the comment, and just stating, hey, I understand what the article is saying. Deion, for one, this is the thing. Deion Sanders is a brand. Brands get paid. The brand. The brand is separate from the business. The brand is a business all alone. So Deion got a employee position. He has a contract. Outside of that contract, he has a personal brand where he is an influencer. So for his brand alone, without a University of Colorado contract, he can get paid for that brand alone. And his brand is what positioned him to have so much value. It is his brand. So when somebody says, "Oh, he need to come in and prove himself," prove what? What do Deion need to prove? He already did the proving. That's done, right? So if he came to the University of Colorado and just signed just a brand contract alone, that would be separate from his pay as a coach if I was the one advising, right? But listen, I don't know what Deion signed in his contract. Nobody knows. That's between him and the school. The only fact that's being stated is that he makes $5 million per year from the University of Colorado, right? So before I dive in a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and read exactly what Dr. Watkins actually stated inside of his comment or in his post. All right. So it says here he listed 5 reasons, and we'll just, go through the first 3. Maybe we'll do the 5. But here it says the economic value of the university, horrific corporate brand. So he's talking about the brand of the school. He said it rose by 5 million once Deion made them one of the hottest brands. We're talking about brands. See, this is business. We're talking about brands. We're not talking about talent. We're not talking about Deion have to go in to prove himself. Just the simple fact that Deion brought his brand and collaborated with the school as a brand, that increased that school's value. That increased how much they can charge for people to go and see the game. And that's exactly what they did. They increased not only the ticket sales, but also the ticket price. So Colorado sold out the entire season for the first time in 27 years, earning millions in the process. Millions. 27 years. Shit. Jeez. So number three says student body enrollment, merchandise sales, concessions, and parking will add millions to the school's annual revenue. So annual revenue dwarfing Deion's tiny 5 million a year. Number 4 says University of Colorado's annual budget of $2.14 billion means that they can pay Deion's entire annual salary with just one day's spending. Dr. Watkins also states that Colorado's ticket price shot through the roof. The cheapest tickets that people could find was $415 to $1,200 each. Nobody wanted these tickets last year. Deion Sanders just isn't a great coach. He is a $500 million brand. $500 million brand. That's alone without him coaching. So this wasn't a hire. This was a corporate acquisition. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So if I could buy a business that cost me just $5 million per year to operate and earn an extra 80 to 100 million per year, it would be a no-brainer. Now he says here, Black people. He's addressing Black people. Why? Because there is a historic standard in America, a history of slavery, a history of Jim Crow, a history of trauma. The trauma is not only passed through experience, but it's also passed through DNA. So what is he saying? He's saying Black people, we must know the difference between a good job versus owning a powerful institution or brand. They tend to buy anything we own that's valuable. And he used Jackie Robinson as an example. And we celebrate it. We celebrate it as if they are doing us a favor. We must change this line of thinking if we are ever going to have wealth in our community. You notice he said in the community, not as an individual, not as a family, but as a community. It is my belief that supportive communities build strong families, and I think we all can agree that building strong families is a imminent thing that needs to happen to for us to be in a better state of being, a better state of wellness, a better state of wholeness. So let's go back to my comment here that I argued with Mr. Devin here. So, with me saying here, I understand what the article is saying. Deion Sanders is a brand that makes him a business. The university acquired more than an employee / coach. They acquire everything that comes with him. He should have commission checks. I say he should have commission checks included in his pay / contract. And that way he grows with the university. Instead, he is stuck with a fixed salary. That's all the information we know. Is he really stuck? We don't know. Is this a power move? We don't know. So we're only talking about the facts. And I say from there, hopefully he can renegotiate his contract from year to year. Dr. Boyce Watkins is pointing out an employee mindset that stems from financial DNA trauma that we as a people need to recognize and address. I am currently putting together a workshop that helps address and walk through this trauma, gives you an action plan, the financial wake up. We're planning a conference for 2024 where we do workshops for anyone that wants to have our team, the Millionaire Portfolio Group, go to whatever business, church, organization, school. We do them anywhere, right? All we need is a group of 20 people to host a workshop. So, Mr. Devin, he ain't like what I had to say. He said he is not stuck in a fixed salary. He has to prove he can before he gets more money. I understand what the article is saying, and it's wrong. Mr. Devin says that's not how sports work. Let me put that up there because that was the thing that I kept getting that stuck out the most, saying that's not how sports work. And that's what kills me. People saying how something does not work. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. That's not how sports work. Okay. So how can we address this mindset that says that's not how something works, and because it doesn't work that way, we're going to continue to do it in the way that it works? Well, who designed it to work in a certain way? Can't the way that it worked be redesigned? Couldn't the way that it worked be redesigned? Right? All right. So I go back. Let's say, you know what? Did he not sign a contract for a fixed meal a year? The problem here is the fact that you, this Devin guy, has accepted that this is just how sports work. This man came in as a brand. He had numbers, he had following. He did not have to prove, I said a cuss word, but he didn't have to prove nothing for them to know that they were about to 10 times their business. Dr. Boy's post is about business economics. It's not about talent. It's not about artists. It's not about being able to prove to anybody or any organization nothing. So, how it's about economics and how so many people in the sports industry gets the short end of the stick because they're only looking at what they are receiving and not the entire chessboard. I think that's an issue. I think that's a major issue. We're going to stop there because it kind of, went on a little bit, but some of the things that I addressed in the post, I've already addressed them up front. So, where do we go from here with creating legacy businesses and creating generational wealth and looking at things from a community mindset, not an individual mindset, not my household mindset, but looking at things in looking at the entire chessboard. How can this be reworked, right? Well, first it starts with working with our individual selves, right? How can we eliminate this mindset or work through this mindset to see things on a bigger scale? Because my everyday operation is I'm not proving nothing. I am who I am. I say what I say, and I can do what I believe I can do. And what I'm going to do is sell you on my vision, what I believe can get done. Now it's up to that person to believe me or not. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to make sure I got the proper contracts. I'm going to make sure that my contract is not one-sided. I'm going to look at my value and make sure that my contract represents my value. I'll make sure my contract represents my brand. I'm going to make sure my contract is a business contract, right? I'm going to look at everything. So I think that's the most important thing. I don't care if you're working on a 9 to 5, you still have to sign a contract. That's negotiable. If you're running a business, it's not, oh, I got to get these numbers first. Yeah, have something to show, but if you've already shown, you do not have to continue the cycle of showing, improving, proving. That mindset will make you sick, absolutely sick. And that's we're gonna have to stop that. So the workshop addresses a lot of things, a lot of the mindset, the traumas to have to work through. So yeah, next week I'll be back with another Facebook argument. They come in on a weekly basis. It's always something. I don't care. It's always something that somebody talking about that just don't make no sense. Matter of fact, the next recording I already know what it's gonna be about, right? It's gonna be about what just happened with Joe Biden about these student loans being shot down. It ain't happening. So somebody made a post about that and it got me crunk. So I had to kind of talk to them about that. But the great thing is we did come to an understanding. So there's nothing wrong with having a healthy debate. You have to be respectful to people, and it's not about proving your point, but getting people to open up and to see, hey, maybe you're not looking at this. Maybe you give them some facts to look at that will open them up. But if you come off harsh, if you come off rude, then you're not helping anybody. You're not helping the situation, and we're not bridging the gap of people, because a lot of things that are political is just a way to bridge and divide people. As long as we're divided, we're going to be arguing and bickering amongst each other and not joining forces and organizing and doing things together and collectively. So that's what I hope you could take away from this today, is being able to think collectively, corporately, knowing when to negotiate, and most of all, knowing that you ain't got to prove a damn thing. It's already done. Bye, guys.